Hey guys, I'm Jadrian here and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I am going to introduce you the basics of chemistry. If you are planning to join a chemistry course or you are going to learn chemistry in the future, then this video is for you. So first, I am going to break down the topics that we are going to cover in this video. As you can see, I have written it down the topics that we are going to cover in this video. The first one is atoms and molecule. The second one is octet rule. The third one is state of matter. The fourth one is periodic table. And the fifth one is acid and alkaline. So first, one of the basic things that you have to know in chemistry is atom and molecule, they are very different from each other. For example, atom is the smallest particle of a chemical element that can exist. So, for example, oxygen atom, hydrogen atom, carbon atom, or even bromine atom, and more. For molecule, it's a group of atoms bonded together to form a substance, such as CO2, H2, Br2, and I2, which is iodine, and more. So let's try a few examples here. You can pause the video, you can try it out. So first, circle the atom. So atom is basically just a single element that exists. So fluorine, Cl, which is chlorine, potassium, and that's it. And Cl2, it's not an atom because Cl2 is basically two Cl bonded together, which is not atom. In an atom, electrons can only be transferred or received. Proton is located at the center of a nucleus in an atom, and please do take note guys, proton cannot be transferred or received. And the next topic that we are going to discuss is octet rule, which is the second topic that we are going to discuss in this video. So the first shell in all elements is able to hold maximum of 2 electrons and no more than that, which means, for example, hydrogen atom. Hydrogen has 1 proton number equals to electron numbers, which means it has 1 electrons, and when it receives an electrons, it can only receive 1 electrons and no more than that, because it obeys the rule. The first shell hold maximum of 2 electrons. And the next one is helium atom. The first shell, it can only hold 2 electrons and no more than that. So for the next one is second shell onwards is able to hold maximum number of 8 electrons, which means the second shell onwards, it has the ability to hold maximum of 8 electrons. So for example, oxygen atom. So oxygen has 8 electrons. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So when oxygen atom gained electrons, it can gain another 2 more electrons because it obeys the rules. It obeys the octet rule. So oxygen has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 electrons in the outer shell, which this makes it stable. And let's try another example. For carbon atom, carbon 6. So carbon has 6 electrons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So when carbon gains electrons, it can gain another 4 electrons, 1, 2, 3, 4. So basically carbon has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 electrons in the valence shell to make it stable. So it obeys the octet rule. The second shell onwards is able to hold maximum number of 8 electrons. So next, states of matter, we got aqueous, solid, liquid, and gas. And aqueous is a substance that has dissolved in water. We take a beaker, we fill in some water, and we add in NaCl salt, which is sodium chloride salt. And when we stir it, the NaCl will break down into Na plus and Cl minus, because NaCl is ionic compound and it is dissolvable in water. Solid is a hard substance that is firm and stable in shape. We got water, H2O, in liquid state because it doesn't have shape. So when we freeze it, we got H2O but in solid state because it forms ice. So next, let's try for iron, Fe, in solid state, because when ironed in room temperature, it is in solid state. And when we heat it to the melting point of iron, it melts, right? So when it melts, it becomes molten, and molten means liquid. Because in this case, liquid is compressible and it doesn't have shape. For liquid, is basically water or molten. For gas, we got H2O in liquid. Then we heat it to the boiling point of water, H2O. So H2O, gas state, and it becomes gas, right? So it becomes vapor or steam. Apart from that, gas is also hydrogen gas, nitrogen gas, chlorine gas, argon gas, helium gas, and more. So next is periodic table. As you can see, guys, I have shown you guys my periodic table here, which I use it for my school, and I have added some notes on it. There are two very important things in this topic, is that you have to know what group is and what period is. So as you can see, I have written it the definition of period and group here. So period is the number of shells in an element, and group is the charge number that an element has. So first, period means we have to read the periodic table horizontally, which means hydrogen here to helium here. So the period indicates the shells number in an element. So let's look at hydrogen first. Hydrogen here has 1 electron. So the 1 here indicate the atomic number of an element. So 1 means hydrogen has 1 proton number. So proton number is equal to electron number. So hydrogen has 1 electron in it. So hydrogen and electrons. As you can see, hydrogen has 1 shells. So here, period 1. Let's look at lithium here. Lithium has 3 protons in it, which means 3 electrons. So lithium, Li, 1, 2, and 3. So let's try for sodium. Sodium has 11 proton, means 11 electrons. So Na, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and here. Yeah. Sorry guys, looks kind of messy here. So basically we got 3 shells, 1, 2, 3, and period 3. So the way we read period is period 1, period 2, period 3, period 4, period 5, 6, and final 7. And one thing, these are all transitions elements that we are going to cover in the other video. So for group is basically the charge number that an element has. So for group 1 we have +1, for group 2 we have +2, for group 3 we have +3, and onwards. So first, let's look at hydrogen first. H. Hydrogen has 1 proton, 1 electron. Hydrogen loses the outer electrons, which means the valence electron, so we do not have -1 and we go +1, and here we go, charge is +1. And let's try for lithium, Li. It has 3 electrons, 1, 2, 3. So right now lithium has 3 protons and 3 electrons. So right now lithium is neutral but is not stable. So in order for lithium to become stable, lithium must -1 valence electrons. So we got -2 because we have released 1 valence electron. So 3 minus 2 equals to 1. So we got acid and alkaline here. Acid is a substance that releases H+ ions in water. So let's take a beaker. Let's fill in some water and let's add some HCl in it, hydrochloric acid. And when we stir the hydrochloric acid, it will break down into H+ and Cl-. And it releases H+ ions here. Just a quick tip guys, for acids always end with IC. So the suffix is IC. For hydrochloric acid, we got IC here. For nitric acid, we got IC here too. And we got some common acids here. Hydrochloric acid, HCl, sulfuric acid, H2SO4, and nitric acid, HNO3. For alkaline, it's a substance that releases OH ions in water. And again, we take a beaker, we fill in some water, and we add some NaOH, sodium hydroxide. So when we stir the sodium hydroxide, it will break down into Na+ and OH-. As you can see, they releases OH ions here. And here are some common alkaline. We got NaOH, sodium hydroxide, we got KOH, potassium hydroxide, we got CaOH2, and calcium hydroxide.